Do you struggle with being consistent, with following through after the excitement is over? This is something we can all relate to and struggle with in one or more areas of our lives. So in this video, I'm going to share my 6 keys to consistency. If you haven't subscribed yet, hit the subscribe button and the bell to be notified every time we post a new video about herbalism, healing, and alignment. I've taught clinical spiritual herbalism to over 5,000 students in my various programs and courses, and the fears that people have around their perceived inability to be consistent are at the top of the list. As someone who really loves routine and discipline within reason, I'm excited to share with you advice on how to be more consistent in the areas that matter most to you, be it your health, developing a new skill, shedding a harmful habit to make space for a helpful one. Before I share with you my 6 keys to consistency, I want to share why I think this is so important, and it just doesn't get talked about enough. Consistency rewards you, and not in the ways that you think with the money, the stuff, or the status, because those are fleeting and they're empty and they don't matter. Consistency rewards you with confidence, with seeing and witnessing yourself close your gap. Your point A is where you are, your point B is where you're heading. And when you're consistent, you literally witness that gap narrowing. In getting closer to your goal, you are actively changing and becoming a new and improved version of yourself. And because people are typically so focused on getting there as quickly as they can, they don't notice the changes along the way. And not noticing those changes and progress is why people backslide. You have to pay attention to how you're growing, how you're getting stronger, how you're setting new boundaries, how you're using your voice in new ways, and how you're letting go of behaviors and people who are holding you back. And you have to pay attention. Because of your consistency, you feel better, you're more confident, and you're happier. Even if you're not there yet, you're not where you were, and that's worthy of celebrating. Now let's dive into these keys. Number 1, anchor into a meaningful intention. You need to know your what. More importantly, you need to know your why. What are you trying to accomplish and why is it meaningful to you? If you want to release 40 pounds, that's your what. And it needs to be connected to a reason, not just any reason, a meaningful one, which means that you have to be honest with yourself. It's easy to say you want to be able to fit into those clothes you wore 10 years ago, but it's a lot harder to admit that the real reason you want to lose weight is because you want to feel good, you want to be able to play with your kids when they ask, or that you simply want to like what you see when you look in the mirror. A superficial or dishonest why won't help your consistency, but a meaningful one will, because that real reason keeps you connected to your heart and reaching for the joy. Number 2, set up multiple levels of accountability. Look, if you could do it by yourself, then honestly, you probably wouldn't be watching this video. Accountability is key number 2 because it helps you keep this promise you're making to yourself. I think 3 levels of accountability work best as just a check and balance. First, set up a simple system for you to keep track of your progress and the daily tasks you're committed to doing to achieve your goal. This can look like scheduling it in your calendar and, of course, making sure you show up for those appointments, setting reminders and timers. Near my vision board, I have a small whiteboard where I put a check mark for every day of the week that I work out. This helps me see it, and I know when I'm not marking my calendar, my whiteboard, I'm not working out, and therefore not keeping this promise I made to myself. Put something in place that keeps you honest and helps you visually see whether or not you are taking action. The second thing you need is regular check-ins with a person, someone you admire, someone whose opinion you value, someone who will ask for the update and ask you questions, and you'll have to explain yourself. And hopefully they won't take your crap and will remind you of what you said you wanted to do. There's power in having to hear yourself say your excuses over and over and over again out loud. This accelerates your discomfort, and hopefully you don't need too much discomfort in order to change. And maybe this is also a person like you can do this thing with. For example, I have a weekly writing accountability session with a good friend. We get on Zoom, tell each other what we're working on for the next hour and a half, keep our camera on but stay muted, and then we get busy writing. At the end of our session, we unmute, say what we've done, and we just keep it moving. Easy. The third element to accountability is to reward yourself for your progress. If you're not celebrating your progress, it's likely because you aren't taking the time to see it and to see yourself. It can be as simple as like posting your win on social media or just texting it to family and letting all of your loved ones say congratulations and encourage you to keep going. Receive that praise. You could look in the mirror at yourself and actually give yourself a compliment. I posted a video about a year ago on social media, me in the mirror, I had on a sports bra, I had on some undies, and I said, damn, I look good, Selima. See yourself, reward yourself regularly for where you are on the journey. Number 3, pick one thing. I cannot emphasize this enough. Pick one thing. If you try to make too many changes at once, you set yourself up for failure. Too many things are too hard to keep up with, overwhelming. It's too hard to keep track of your progress. When you're trying to overhaul your diet, meditate, work out, stick to a bedtime routine all at once. Yes. Are all of these connected to your well-being? Yes, they are related. But if you try to do them all at once, while living a full life, you're going to get overwhelmed, inevitably miss something, and then discouraged, and then likely you'll just stop everything. Set yourself up for success by starting with one thing, being consistent, tracking your progress. Then when that feels more natural, add the next element. Too much, too fast leads to inconsistent and incomplete. So comment below and let me know if this is helpful to you and what's the one thing you've been trying to be consistent with but struggled with every time. Number 4, negotiate yourself into better decisions. A good example of negotiating is when the alarm goes off and it's time to get out of bed to start the day. Just 15 more minutes, then another 15 more minutes. Then because you've negotiated yourself into giving yourself permission to hit the snooze button again and again, when it's time to rise, you're rushed, you're annoyed, and you're no more rested than you would have been had you just gotten up. This self-negotiation led to negative emotion. It did not work out in your favor. So consider negotiating yourself into better decisions. Do you desire to step into your day feeling peace or aggravation? Yes, the bed feels good and cozy, but is this 30 minutes of snoozing worth the aggravation it always leads to? This seems like a silly example, but the larger lesson is about honing awareness of your self-talk. Think about what you're thinking about. Notice when your inner dialogue and self-agreements harm instead of help, when they put you out of instead of into alignment with what you're trying to accomplish. Consistency is about making the right choice for today. Don't worry about tomorrow. You're not there yet. Be in your today with greater awareness of what you're doing in the moment, understanding how one choice will play out. You'll start making decisions that support moving your needle notch by notch towards your goal and towards your well-being. Number 5, eliminate friction. This seems so obvious, we overlook it. Think about how you can make your journey easier. If you're trying to change your eating habits, start with not bringing the cookies or the tempting bad food into the house. Take them off of your shopping list. Don't walk down those aisles in the grocery store. If you're trying to be consistent with meditation practice, stop using the excuse that you need to get a whole meditation room together, a whole altar together, find the right candle, the right music, the right app. Stop. Sit down and close your eyes right where you are. If you want to move more, you can save yourself time and money on a gym membership by using this platform right here, YouTube. Type in, hit workout, press play, and then move your butt. Number 6, zoom out. Lastly, I think this is really important to put this all into a larger perspective. You suffer when you don't follow your intuition, when you don't work toward making the vision that's been implanted in your spirit come alive, and when you don't feel well because of preventable pain and illness, when you are here to thrive. In being consistent, you're making changes that, in the beginning, they're uncomfortable, yes, but the temporary discomfort has to outweigh the current mental, emotional, and possibly physical suffering you experience by staying unhappily where you are and resisting your growth. You have to care so deeply about yourself to remember that you are worthy and that it is your birthright to feel well and to have a fulfilling lifetime. With whatever it is you're trying to close the gap on, extend yourself some grace. Count how many times you get back up, not how many times you fall. Every time you try again, you are never starting from the same spot and you are making progress. Remember that small, consistent changes make a big impact, and remember that you are already demonstrating discipline and consistency in some areas of your life. So wherever you are trying to make improvement, consider it like a transfer of energy. If you can be consistent in your finances or your relationship, then you know you are more than capable. You just need to use that same will you have there over here. If you are on your holistic wellness journey and looking for the right blueprint and community, consider joining us inside Herbal Medicine for the Soul, where we teach you how to heal and break the cycles of chronic physical pain, mental illness, pills, side effects, using herbal medicine, medical astrology, and the Calypso healing method, which is all about living in alignment. The link is below. Check it out, and if it resonates, see you inside. Thanks so much for tuning in. Be sure to like and subscribe, and see you in the next video.